Hi, in the previous module, we learnt about Android apps, the languages and environment used to make these apps, and even saw the basic syntax for coding in XML and Kotlin. In this module, we will dive straight into the world of Kotlin and learn how to code in this language. Let us begin by looking at a brief history of how Kotlin came to be used as the fundamental language for making Android apps. When Android was launched in 2008, people started developing apps using Java. Along with Java, C++ was also used to develop more complex Android apps. However, Java remains significant and the fundamental language for developing Android apps. All the Android repositories were coded in Java, and the developers also used Java with a lot of interest. Though Java is a user-friendly and popular language, yet it has its own drawbacks. The syntax was too lengthy, and one has to write a lot of redundant code to perform even a small operation in Java. In technical terms, we call this redundant code as the boilerplate code. Java had a lot of boilerplate code. So that was one problem. Parallelly, things looked like this at Google. Google provided the development kit for Android, which could be used in already existing IDEs like Eclipse and IntelliJ IDEA. But then, Google thought of having an IDE especially designed for creating Android apps. For this, Google contacted JetBrains, the company which had created IntelliJ IDEA, and together they built the Android Studio in 2012. In 2013, Google announced Android Studio to be the official and fundamental IDE for creating Android apps using Java. So that resolved the second concern about having an IDE especially designed for developing Android apps. But let's go back to the first problem, the boilerplate code of Java. Developers at JetBrains were also unhappy about it. So they came up with the idea of creating another language for coding Android apps. This language would be more powerful, easy to use, and would not have boilerplate code. They worked day in and day out to make it happen. They skipped their dates on Valentine's in 2016, and on 15th February 2016, they released the first official stable version of Kotlin, the new language they had made. Kotlin was an instant hit. It created a wave of excitement in the developer community and was eagerly and readily accepted. Soon, Google also realized the power and popularity of Kotlin, and they started working with Kotlin in the field of Android development. Later that year, Google started giving support for Kotlin in Android Studio to observe the reaction of the users towards Kotlin. To their amazement, everyone loved Kotlin and wanted more out of it. Google also happily accepted the change. And in Google I/O 2017, they announced Kotlin to be the fundamental language for the development of Android apps. Since then, Kotlin has never looked back on its journey to become the best language for creating Android apps. Yet, some people still remained skeptical of using this new language and preferred to stick with Java. But instead of hating on them, Kotlin embraced these people and is fully interoperable with Java. This means that Kotlin and Java work together flawlessly. So, let's say if an app has 10 files, 5 written in Java and 5 in Kotlin, the app will work as expected. After all, they are both family in the field of Android development. What this means is that Kotlin has the same roots as Java and works on the same machine as Java. It has all the good qualities of Java and does not have its drawbacks. So, that was a glimpse into the history of Kotlin and Android development and how it all started. Throughout this training, you will encounter many names which will have the word Java in them, like Java Virtual Machine and Java Development Kit. Don't get confused by these, since now you know that Kotlin and Java are closely related when it comes to the development of Android apps.